Go through them,
Yep,
Lauren.
I sure did. 22,000 jobs added in the month of August. That was much less than the expectation of 75,000, guys. The July number was revised. I will get to revisions in a moment. Unemployment rate coming in as expected, 4.3%, so that would be higher than July's 4.2%. Again, 22,000 jobs added in August. Let me get you the revisions because this is what everybody is focused on. For June and July together, combined 21,000 jobs lower than previously reported. I'll categorize that now. So you see for June, it was revised down by 27,000, getting you to negative 13,000, and the change for July up by 6,000, getting you to 79,000.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Senator Murphy. Thank you to my colleagues. Thank you to the hosts of today's event. Mr. Kennedy never should have received so much as a hearing in the United States Senate. So obviously unqualified and unfit for this office, is he? He never should have been confirmed by the United States Senate, and he needs to resign. It is one thing to be a skeptic or a reformer. It is quite another to be a fool and a wrecking ball. And the destruction of the CDC in Georgia, the systematic dismantling of American public health is putting children and families across the country at risk every single day. This is chaos. It is out of control. And every day this continues, more and more Americans are put at risk by Mr. Kennedy's radical and incoherent ideology. I defend the CDC not just because those who work there are my constituents, but because it is the most important disease-fighting agency, not just in the country, but in the world, with unmatched capabilities and responsibility. And the CDC has been systematically demolished since Mr. Kennedy was sworn in. Agency morale is at rock bottom. A quarter of the workforce has been pushed out. It is an agency known for its tenacity and precision and capacity that is now totally in chaos by design. And every day this continues, the damage is compounded. It is time for Mr. Kennedy to resign. He has demonstrated his incompetence. This is gross mismanagement, unforgivable mismanagement that cannot continue, and I join my colleagues today in calling for the Secretary's resignation. Thank you all so much for being here.
Did you hold up a big sign saying that you were lying when you said that? Because you are the one who said you would not take them away. Now, Senator Kennedy,
I'm not taking them away from anybody.
Secretary,
you want me to indicate a product for which there is no clinical data?
Senator,
is that what you want?
Secretary Kennedy, you said you wouldn't, and now you did.
I'm not taking them away. Everybody can get access to them.
No, they can't walk into a pharmacy the way they could last month and get access.
It depends on the state. It depends on the states.
A year ago,
but they can still get it. Everybody can get it. Everybody can get it, Senator.
So look, let's move on. You clearly are taking away vaccines. I've seen the list for what's coming up next, and that is the agenda for the next CDC vaccine panel. And first up is ratifying your COVID actions. Second is hepatitis B is on the agenda. So should Americans expect you to take away hepatitis vaccine access as well, even though you promised not to?
As I said, I'm not taking vaccines away from anybody.
Okay, same answer, right? You're just going to deny that when people can't get access, that you're not taking it away. Then let me ask you, is that the same game you're going to play with me?
You want me to recommend every product in the world?
No,
so that without any clinical trial data.
Through on your promises.
Yeah, my promise was to give.
A month ago, we could get COVID vaccines by just walking.
You can still get COVID vaccines, Senator.
You are taking that away.
No, you are still. You can still get the COVID vaccines, and Medicare will still pay for them, and Medicaid will still pay for them.
Tell the head of the CDC that if she refused to sign off on your changes to the childhood vaccine schedule, that she had to resign?
No, I told her that she had to resign because I asked her, are you a trustworthy person? And she said no. So if you had an employee who told you they weren't trustworthy, would you ask them to resign, Senator?
So I'm sorry, but this is not what she has said publicly. She has said
I'm not surprised about that.
So you're saying she's lying?
Yes. Every conversation I had with her, there
And
were
let me get
witnesses.
this straight. This is the same person that less than a month earlier, you stood next to her and described her as unimpeachable. And you had full confidence in her, and that you had full confidence in her scientific credentials. And in a month, she became a liar?
Yeah, you should ask her what changed. And by the way, a month ago, you were voting against her. Oh, because you thought she was either incompetent, ineligible, or unsuited to the task.
I voted
Now I
against her
agree
because
with
I
you.
was afraid she was going to bend the knee to you and Donald Trump. And it looks like she didn't bend the knee, so you fired her. Look, you're putting America's babies' health at risk, America's seniors' health at risk, all Americans' health at risk, and you should resign.
Senator Sanders.
Did you say that the CDC was, quote, the most corrupt federal agency in the history of the world?
Not the history of the world, but definitely
Did you
within
say
HHS.
Did you say
I did not say that, but I did say it's the most corrupt agency in HHS, and maybe the government.
So you call the CDC corrupt? Did you say that CDC staff are, quote, horrible people?
Horrible people?
Did you say that they're killing children and they don't care?
No.
Okay, I think that we all have a history of listening to you and these answers, but you're on the record for a number of these statements. Despite your lack of credentials and expertise, clearly you have an agenda. It is a threat to the public health of the American people. It's clear that you are carrying out your extremist beliefs. Which is why you attempted to fire Dr.
We're the sickest people in the world.
Sir,
we're the sickest people on earth.
I'm speaking.
How am I a threat?
Secretary Kennedy, for the first time, we're seeing deaths from children from measles. We haven't seen that in 2 decades. We're seeing that under your watch. You are a hazard to the health of the American people.
Can I respond to that, Senator?
No, I claim back my time.
We need to wrap up.
You are a hazard to the health of the American people. I think that you ought to resign. And if you don't resign, the President of the United States, who put forward Operation Warp Speed, which worked, should fire you.
We are getting more details about that U.S. strike on a Venezuelan speedboat the administration says killed 11 people on Tuesday, and many of those details only raise more questions. According to the New York Times, Pentagon officials were still working Wednesday on what legal authority they would tell the public was used to back up the extraordinary strike in international waters. That is so extraordinary, it's out of step with even the worst American administrations. I mean, the Bush White House after 9/11 had a whole written legal pretext that they developed for kidnapping and torturing terror suspects. It was a terrible pretext. It was a fig leaf. But they took the need for a legal narrative more seriously than this administration. And it gets worse. A former senior federal law enforcement official told the Times it was unusual to have 11 people manning a vessel that could easily be crewed by 2 or 3, especially since traffickers are always trying to maximize the amount of cargo space devoted to carrying drugs, not human beings. In this former official's opinion, it was more likely the vessel was carrying migrants on a human smuggling run. It would be impossible to know for sure, however, given that any evidence of drug smuggling was destroyed in the attack. So, did the United States just kill 11 drug runners via essentially summary execution? Or did we kill 11 migrants via summary execution? Hard to say without evidence. And you can't look to Venezuela for answers. The government spokesman there is saying the video is just fake, that Trump and Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth have been sharing an AI fabrication. And there's kind of the point. I mean, no one should take the Venezuelan government's word for it, a country led by a strongman with little regard for the truth or human rights. You can't trust the word of a government like that, whether it's Caracas or Washington, D.C.
Anger has a place. It's what you do with it that counts.
We're walking in lockstep with Congressman Al Green, as well as the organizers of the march today.
past the Capitol at the moment. We're walking past the Capitol. We're heading towards the House buildings to talk to House members with hundreds upon hundreds of people from all around to demand the impeachment and removal of Donald Trump.
Let's be serious in an unserious age.
Donald Trump doesn't follow the rules. The GOP doesn't follow the rules. They've thrown the rules out the window. Can I let you guys in on a little secret? Do you know what else doesn't follow the rules? A fucking revolution.
The president is allowed to use his incivility to take advantage of our civility.
That's right. That's right.
Incivility to take advantage of our civility.
Yeah.
At some point, you have to respond with a level of incivility when you're dealing with the level of incivility that we have to cope with.
You heard it. The iconic Al Green, you heard it here. At some point, we have to respond to incivility with incivility. It is what it is. Let this be my formal announcement to everyone. I'm tired of playing by the fucking rules that nobody else is playing by. Let the revolution begin. We got a Handmaid's Tale protest that has started right here at Union Station in front of the National Guard troops. You can see she's come out dressed in full Handmaid's Tale attire right in front of the National Guard troop. I mean, if you follow the Handmaid's Tale, the story of it, DC fell first. So this is a pretty powerful protest, pretty powerful imagery. I mean, a picture's worth 1,000 words. I can shut up and you can get the whole message right here.
Came all the way from Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Remember, DC fell first.
Get back! Get back! Get back! No, motherfucker! No! You guys are fucking criminals! You are criminals! Hey! Get away from me! Get away from me! Hey! What the fuck? Don't touch her! Do not fucking touch her!
I don't give a fuck if they touch me.
I'm back, you dumbass.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
people.
You feel paying taxes on my voting? Fuck you, pussy. Fuck you, pussy. Fuck you, pussy. What are you fucking pussy? You're a pussy. 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 You're a pussy.
A massive story broke just before the holiday weekend, but hardly anyone is talking about it, and that really needs to change. So as I'm sure you know, Trump has promised over and over again to never touch Medicare.
I'll save Social Security. I'll save Medicare.
Well, guess what? He lied. Because on Friday night, he and Dr. Oz, who's the administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, confirmed that they are going to fundamentally change Medicare, and not in a good way. They are launching a pilot program that will require senior citizens to get prior authorization for some some healthcare services. And here's the kicker. Artificial intelligence will decide whether their procedure is approved or not. What could go wrong? To quote this Truth Out article, prior authorizations already exist in the privatized Medicare Advantage system and with standard private insurance, and we know they cause delays and denials of critical medical coverage. They're a nightmare. Now, in case you didn't know, traditional Medicare rarely asks for prior approval. That's why it works so easily and well. That's why we love it. But Trump doesn't want us to have nice things. Oh wait, and I haven't told you the worst part yet. These AI companies will be paid based on the value of the procedures they reject. Meaning AI companies will profit from denying needed care to seniors. So literally, the more claims they deny, the richer they get. It's like a cash incentive to deny your claim. These companies donated massively to help Trump get elected. Now they're getting paid back at our expense. It's disgusting. And the outcome of all this is that your grandmother or your dad or your sister or even you could lose a vital medical service because a computer decided that it wasn't worth covering. Even if your doctor said it was. These AI pre-approval programs are going to roll out this January in 6 states listed right here. The pilots will reportedly be limited to about 17 procedures to start, but if they achieve their goal, denying your healthcare and making AI companies rich, they'll expand to more procedures and more states. You remember when the GOP invented the term death panel in the scare campaign to stop the Affordable Care Act? It was false, but we never heard the end of it. This, on the other hand, is actually happening. Trump is rolling out AI death panels. He should never hear the end of it. So call your members of Congress and tell them that it's not okay. And share this story far and wide so people can make a lot of noise. Every promise Trump makes, he breaks. Don't let him break Medicare too.
Donald Trump ordered a flyover of military jets that are notoriously loud to fly over the conference that is being had outside of the White House where the Jeffrey Epstein victims are telling their stories in an attempt to drown out their voices and testimonies. He then contacts Thomas Massie, who is a Republican representative from Kentucky who has joined the Democrats. He's one of 4 who have joined the Democrats in order to try to force the vote, telling Massie that if he or any Republican joins the Democrats to force the vote, that they are acting hostile against this administration. Donald Trump then, again, all in the same day, gets on national TV, he's being interviewed, and he starts throwing a tantrum stating that this is all a hoax. Now, mind you, Donald Trump has said that this is a hoax in the past, but he again did it today as the victims are outside of the White House telling their testimonies. Every single Democrat has signed the petition to force the vote that would release all of the files. Only 4 Republicans have joined those Democrats. Out of all the Republican representatives, only 4 have joined. That would be Mace, Green, and then Massie, and then Boebert. That's it. Which party is protecting PDFs? Because if you ask me, from an unbiased perspective, watching everything that happened today, I would say Republicans. Force the vote, call your representatives, call these Republicans and tell them that they need to join the other 4. Because as of right now, they are protecting PDFs.
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah, the Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. It's gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit, hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. Hope you guys can hear me okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello. Hello. Let's see, I'm waiting. All right, looks like we're going. It's 11:42 a.m. in the Pacific time zone here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. It's currently 85 degrees. We're supposed to hit a high of 95. We've had some storm fronts kind of go right around us. I know California was getting rain. I think up north in Utah, they were getting big rain. It kind of just goes right around us. Because last night I was driving in the cab and I saw lots of like lightning and, you know, clouds and stuff, but really didn't get any rain. Today it might rain a little bit. If it rains, it might just be sprinkling. I don't know. Who knows? Anyhow, guys, thanks for being here. 43 watching, 32 thumbs ups. We are operating as though we are a bunch of Republicans right now with that deficit. So let's work on that. God forbid we get compared to being Republicans. Best coffee. Can you see it? Where's it at? There. Well, I really had to move that over. So it looks like Sandy Foltz was first, but you know, Sandy and Josh and Paul Burrows, they're the first three, but they check in like in the middle of the night, you know. But good to see you. And I don't even know if they're still here or not. So at this point, but thanks for being here. Thanks for coming on in. Paul Burrows is out there fishing, I guess. Got fish traps set on the Lostine River, Oregon. Indivisible Ranch was here. I don't know if Indivisible Ranch is still here or not. This is a very, very early post. I think in the wee early morning hours. Individual River Ranch was here. Damon Dog the Big Dog. Thanks for being here. Says hello, truckers. Be back in an hour. So that was an early post. Elizabeth Fernandez is here. It says Liz from Arpin, Wisconsin, saying howdy. Thanks, Liz. Thanks for being here. Deborah Murphy's here. Hello, making soup. I had my salad already. Soup. They're getting soup for their families. Big bags of soup. Damon Dog is back. Hal is trying to decide on his exit music. I know. See, that's the thing. You know, I even titled the show being right after Hal Sparks. So there I am. I'm sitting waiting for Hal, you know, and he's just going on and on and on and on. Same thing he did yesterday. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Roxanne 79 is here. Says howdy, TJ and Loungers. Howdy to you, Roxanne. Good to see you. AM is here. Hello, AM. Waiting for FM. We need to get FM here so we can have AM and FM on our dial. Mr. Spock, live long and prosper. How is the chicken processing going? Are you going to send me a chicken? That's a processed chicken? Just kidding. Jen at the base is here. Jen says, wow, Hal and Boston Brian conspiring to fuck with your Showtime. Damn, are you going to stand for that? Don't let them do that, like sarcasm. I'll be right back. Off to the dispensary. No, but those dudes love to hear the sound of their own voice. That's for sure. And they were just going on and on and on. But you know, that's why they do these shows. Maybe that's why I do my show. I love hearing the sound of my own voice. I don't know. 007, and you do notice we have the names back. So 007 Troll Slayer is here. That happened yesterday during the show in real time, right in front of our eyes. The ats were disappearing, and it was going back to your profile name or whatever the terminology is. Because I think the @ is the handle, and then the these names are your profile name or channel name or something. I don't know. Who knows? Aaron's here. Hey, Aaron, good to see you. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you. Got that wrench. Aaron's got that wrench. Not afraid to use it. Roxanne79 says, Damon Dog, hey, good to see you. Got Hurricane Daisy with me. She's so irresistibly cute and so sweet. Alvin Stube is here. Hey, Alvin, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Hanging out with us for a bit today. Michelle is here. 8 months of incompetence. Hopefully you're talking about the Trump administration and not the Trucker John, because we've been way more than 8 months of incompetence on the Trucker John channel. James Jaramillo is here. Hey, James, good to see you. Thanks for being here. I'm gonna put this a little bit closer. Oh, I think it's about as close as I can get her. About as close as I can get her without knocking the whole damn thing over. Damon Dog says Jobs Report is so bad Trump is using Epstein as a diversion. Yeah, I think I heard Hal say that. It's funny. Yeah, we're getting into like George W. Bush jobs reports in his last few years there. I keep waiting for Trump to send us the $5,000 check or whatever. You know? That might go a long way in restoring some popularity or something. I don't know. Which glasses am I wearing? Am I wearing the right glasses today? Paul Burrows is back in the chat. Or not sure if Paul Burrows ever left, but there's Paul saying hello to everybody. Yeah, those job report numbers, we're just 8 months in, like someone like was it that said 8 months of incompetency? 8 months in, we're already taking our jobs numbers. And Damon Dog says Kennedy looks like a microwave Mel Gibson. I wonder what's going to happen. Do you think Trump will fire his ass, RFK's ass, or whatever? I mean, he sure took a grilling yesterday. And I don't know if these hearings are over or if they should reconvene. They should bring back that, I was going to say chick, and then I just kind of did a whole thing the other day about whether we should say chick or not. In certain contexts. The woman, that woman, who was the head of the CDC that RFK fired because he said that he claims that he asked her if she was loyal and that she said no, and that's why he fired her. And I'd like to see her testimony for what it matters. It doesn't really matter though. I mean, he's either Trump is going to just keep RFK no matter what, or if he fires him or has him resign, he's just going to get some other asshat, equally as bad. I don't see how Trump would make any improvement, no matter who he picked. We were jokingly talking about Mike Pillow. That would not be better either. It might be worse or just as bad, but for a whole different set of reasons, probably. Belfast Bob's in the chat. Hey, Belfast Bob, all the way from Ireland. Thanks for being here. I do appreciate you checking in. Yeah, Michelle says she said she was not trustworthy, laughing out loud. Yeah, I would like to hear the context of that conversation. And I thought Elizabeth Warren answered RFK Jr. beautifully, because then he tried to turn it back on her and say, "Well, you didn't vote for her confirmation either, like you didn't like her either. And Elizabeth Warren was like, I didn't vote for her because I thought she was just going to bend the knee to you and to Trump. And she goes, but apparently she didn't. And when she didn't, that's when you fired her. And did you hear RFK's breathing or lack thereof? I should have tried to get some clips of that. I mean, it was horrendous. It was like Darth Vader was sitting over there. This guy is a total mess, RFK Jr. And, you know, hey, I understand people have health problems and whatever, but most of his health problems, I would say probably all of them are like self-inflicted because of his heroin addiction and then, you know, swimming in toxic ponds and shit, you know, and probably eating rotten bear meat or something. I don't know. And having worms in his fucking brain. And this is what we have heading up our health and human services. And a total, a known crackpot, anti-vaxxer. Even before COVID, he's been on this anti-vax campaign. That's why I stopped listening to him. I used to listen to the Ring of Fire, and that had Papantonio and RFK Jr. and there was a couple other dudes in there. And this is way back in the aughts, probably. I'm thinking the aughts. You know what the aughts are, right? 2001 to 2009. And everything seemed fine. What they said, I didn't have any problems. You know, they seemed to be good progressives, and I didn't have any issues. But then along the way, something happened, man. Something happened to RFK Jr. where he just took a left turn and started really going into this anti-vax shit, and then citing all these things that he claimed were you know, studies or whatever, and it was all like bunko, you know, junk science that he was citing. And I think it did cause a rift. I think the Ring of Fire, I think he left or they kicked him out or something. I don't know. But that's when I kicked him out of my little listening circle. And haven't really liked him ever since. So for probably at least 15 or close to 20 years, I kind of like crossed him off my list of people to listen to. Josh is here. Hey, Josh, good to see you. Thanks for joining us in the driver's lounge today. Oh, Roxanne is saying hi to William. Oh, yeah, there's William. Hello, William. Good to see you also. Roxanne says, William, hey, bro, so glad your handle is back to normal and not some crazy cryptic password. Hey, that might be William's favorite cryptic grouping of words and numbers, and, you know, that might be his favorite. I don't know. I don't want to yuck anybody's yum. To each your own, man. To eat your own. To each your own. I think I just coined a new phrase. To eat your own. Nick Rich is here. Hey, Nick Rich, good to see you. 11:30 was the time, little time chime. So I'm about 26 minutes behind, which is about par for the course. I'm usually 20 to 25 minutes, 26 minutes behind. That's par for the course. Damon says, I'm going to continue to call William at user PH9UH3C-9TVW or something. I think I was pretty close on that, by the way. I was off, but I think I was kind of close. Owen's here, shaking his head, coming in, shaking, just walking into the lounge, shaking your head. So we're all gonna go. What's up, William? What's the deal, man? Go grab a coffee and a donut. What's up, man? Virtually. Did you guys see? We're so close to 4,000. By the way, I think I'm only like 7 away from the big 4K. Can we make that happen today? That'd be nice. Can we get to the big 4K today? That'd be nice. Belfast Bob, I guess talking about the speedboat or whatever that the Trump administration had obliterated. Belfast Bob says it was speeding in the international waters. That's the problem. I hope you're being sarcastic. Music says the speedboat could have been anyone doing anything. Yeah, that was an extrajudicial execution of people that we like that Chris or whatever that dude's name is that did that report. We don't know. Were they drug smugglers? Were they smuggling in human beings? We'll never know now, probably, because they're all dead. And they didn't have to be. That's why we have Coast Guard, or we have ships that can just cruise up alongside of them and can board the ship, and they go, hey, what the fuck are you guys doing? And they could just arrest them and take them in. They don't have to fucking blow them up to smithereens. Yeah, Roxanne says murdered is the term. Michelle, they shot a boat out of water without due process. Right. That seems to be a common theme lately under this Trump administration. Without due process. Which I believe is a Fifth Amendment right? Due process is definitely a constitutional right. Now, I'm not saying that those people have constitutional rights, because it was international waters and it wasn't America. But that doesn't... all the reason more for us not to just willy-nilly out in international waters blow up somebody. AM says that RFK Jr. needs to resign. Pronto. I agree. And that's, like I said, whoever replaces him, I don't see would be any better, but maybe they would be a little bit better, right? I'm not saying we're going to get, freaking Jocelyn Elders, who I interviewed once. We're not going to get Anthony Fauci, but maybe we'll get somebody who's just a little bit less fucking nut jobby, total whack job. I mean, come on, RFK Jr. is about as wacky of a whack job as you can get. Paul Burrows says, didn't see the water skiers behind the boat. Belfast Bob, it was going to Trinidad. We had to act. Roxanne, is that Jolly Ginger? I've heard of him, but I haven't seen him. Yeah, the big dude with the big kind of reddish gray beard with I think a tooth missing is the Jolly Good Ginger. And I really didn't know who he was either until fairly recently, I guess in the last couple of months or something. But yeah, he's been doing a lot of that protesting in DC and with the veterans, like Veterans Against Trump and Veterans Against ICE and all that shit. And he's pretty good. He's calling for a revolution. And like I've been saying, the shit's going to hit the fan at some point. Michelle shooting rubber bullets. Okay, so yeah, that part of the clip, I almost wasn't going to put it in. I was almost thinking about taking it out. Where the clip where it was like in the streets there, all the cops, and they were shooting, which Michelle is saying rubber bullets. I hope those were rubber bullets. I thought maybe also tear gas, because I heard a lot of people coughing, although I didn't see a lot of smoke. But I almost wasn't going to play that because I really don't know. I have no idea where it was. I'm pretty sure it was the United States. It was definitely the United States. It was on September 1st, according to they had it labeled September 1st. I don't know what it was about. I saw they had this one guy, like in handcuffs, and they were trying to get him. They were trying to take him out of the area into that fenced off area and lock him up or whatever. I have no idea what that guy did. So I don't know if it was justified or not justified. I have no. That's why I almost wasn't going to play it, because I don't know. Maybe the cops might have been completely justified, and that guy might have just murdered 10 people. I have no idea. But I have a feeling it wasn't anything to do with that. But I thought it was a good visual of just the militarization that's going on in our streets. Even though a lot of those were cops, so a lot of those were military. And under Trump, if he gets his way, we're going to be seeing more and more of that type of stuff in our streets, in our cities. Unfortunately. Yeah, AM says, are they pointing guns at civilians? Is this the U.S.? Yeah, that was the U.S. I don't know what city that was. Like I don't know. I just saw that clip and posted it, and I wish I knew more about the background of that. Music's here. Hey, Music, good to see you. Music says, is there any polling on whether Trump supporters are hanging with him or is he losing support? I haven't seen anything recently, but the last ones that I did see, and it's probably been a few weeks now since I've seen any polling, but his polling was in the toilet. With like Republicans and people who voted for him and stuff. Roxanne says, we are at a like deficit. Oh, look at there. We are now at a surplus. 30, only 38 watching, though. That's the bad side. I wish we had like 3,800 watching. But we got 38 watching and 43 thumbs up. So like good Democrats, we are operating at a surplus presently. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and share. And let's share the show out. Get the show to grow. Like I said, we're only about 7 away from the big 4K. Could it come today? Could the 4K come today? It could. It could. You never know. You never know. Belfast Bob says his big beautiful bill doesn't totally kick in till after 2026, so they'll vote him again, FAFO. Well, hopefully that's why these 2026 congressional elections is what they should be called, congressional elections. Hopefully the Democrats will turn out in such huge numbers that it'll be impossible for Trump to cheat, and we get the House back, get the Senate back, and we can do whatever we can to repeal or reverse or overturn that big, beautiful bullshit bill. Or do whatever we can to stop it, slow it down, whatever, So it is vital that we all vote here, in America. Make sure we can vote. Make sure your registration is cool. Make sure it's cool, and then vote blue. All down ticket. I'm telling you, man, that's not a bad thing to vote blue all down the ticket. It's not a bad thing. We got to stop electing Republicans. They have proven themselves to not be good for this country or good for the world by extension, because the United States, you know, what happens here, it affects the whole world. Roxanne says Daisy is freaking out. Don't freak out, Daisy. Is Daisy a girl? Because I was going to say, be good, Daisy. Be good girl. If she could hear me. I'm assuming Daisy is a girl, but you know what happens when you assume? You make an assume. Something like that. The Lucky Minute is here. Hey, Lucky Minute. I didn't see you before, did I? So hello to Lucky Minute. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming on in. David Dog says, yes, Belfast Bob, they delayed the action for the midterm. Congressional elections. That way he can blame Democrats for it. If the Democrats regain control of the House and you know, we can get the numbers we need in the Senate and everything, I think like the first order of business would be to, you know, I don't know, repeal it or something. Can they repeal it? Whatever. I don't know. The Congress, they should be able to do something. Music says, where's TJ? I'm right here. I'm right here. I was here all along. I was right here all along. Roxanne79 says, did anyone else see the latest South Park? Oh, snap. The best part is Satan and the mystery box. There goes Roxanne with those spoilers, man. Stephen Sayers is here. Hey, Steve, good to see you. Stephen Sayers says, we want unredacted Epstein files. I think that's what that discharge notice is stipulating, that it be unredacted. Music says, oh yeah, look at that beautiful face. Thank you. Michelle says, because the donors are the pedophiles. Music, who made this song? I made it. I mean, I wrote it. I used an AI music thing generator to make it. I put in all the prompts. I put in all the like suggestions, all the style of music that I wanted, and then I did several. You kind of keep running it through until you get one that sounds good, and then that's the one I picked. As AI goes, I think it came out pretty good. It's funny. It's funny and it's goofy words. It's just me being goofy. Just a goofy Trucker John goofiness. You know, but it works. It works for the show, for this goofy show. This goofy little show I like to call the Trucker John Livestream. Chris Doug, jobs report? What jobs report? Epstein? Who's Epstein? Yeah. I think that was a direct quote from Donald Trump. Nick Rich, 11:42. So that's 18:20. I think I'm 29 minutes behind. Just so you know. Just so you guys know, that's how far behind I am. Music says, what a time to be alive that TJ can have one of the best intro songs on earth, which with such a small operation. Well, thank you, music. I'm glad you like it. Glad you like my intro song. It's a keeper. Now, during the earlier iterations, I guess, of this show when I first started, I didn't have that. But I did make what was I using? I did have, because before that Chat GPT or whatever, AI, I didn't use Chat GPT. I used Suno for that. But I was doing, where did I generate that music? I did generate music. But it wasn't, I guess there were no lyrics, huh? Yeah, I just used GarageBand. You know how like on the and I don't have the, like the GarageBand game or whatever, but you know how on your if you have an iPhone, like GarageBand is just automatically on your phone. So in the very very early days of the show, going back, like what, 3 years or 3-4 years ago, my intro music was just music that I made from GarageBand, and then I did some voiceovers like, "Here's the Trucker John Show." Now, a lot of people hated that music, what I would call music snobs. If Gin Up the Bass had been a follower at that time, I almost guarantee Gin Up the Bass would have been one of the music snobs. They really hated it. And the biggest music snob of all is Wes or WW. What always hated my garage band music that I made. I wonder if I have it in my little library here. I think I do. Like, here's some of the early stuff. Let's see. Would it be this one? Let's see here. I don't know if you can hear it. I don't know what the volume levels are. But this is what I used to play. This is stuff that I made using GarageBand. I like it. It's like. And that would just play on a loop forever. So I had something like that. What's this one here? Oh, what's this one here? I got that one. So I had a few. Let's see, what's this one? This is kind of the same one, but I had like 3 or 4 of different ones that I would use back in the day, back in the old days. Let me go back to the top here. But that stuff was just stuff I made using GarageBand. I just pieced together little stuff and made little theme songs. Now, like I said, some of the music snobs didn't like me utilizing, that canned music or whatever. But I'm sorry, I'm not a musician. I had to do the best I could, and I don't have thousands of dollars laying around where I could pay for, copyrighted music or whatever. So I had to do what I had to do. You know what I mean? I just had to do what I had to do. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. All right. Let me just skip down. I know I'm getting further and further behind. Roxanne says, music, we've been saying the same thing. One day that song was stuck in my head on loop for 24 hours. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Oh, I guess Fancy's here. Or, oh no, it says, Nick Rich says, 007 Kevin, think we'll see Fancy. Okay. So I guess no Fancy sighting quite yet. Hopefully Fancy will pop in and say hello at some point. John Deff is here. Good to see John Deff. Says Hal doesn't get down. Oh no, well no. John says Hal doesn't smoke, and Roxanne says Hal doesn't get down. I'm pretty sure Hal doesn't smoke. I agree with that. I don't know about the not getting down. If getting down means to me what it means to you, or if it means what you say it means, I think he gets down. I don't know. Music says Fried AI is my favorite Hal show. And music says I have to be in the minority. A lot of people don't like it. I enjoy it. I like Rob Glenn. I think Rob Glenn's a great guy, and I love seeing what's going on in technology and AI and robotics. I'm still waiting for that sex bot. I'm going to be 95 years old, but by the time they finally get a good sex bot, and then it'll be too late by then probably. Nick Rich says Hal said he might even come on early later. Yeah, because I guess of Trump is going to have a lot of press conferences or a press conference. I don't know, and so he might jump in to kind of cover that. Josh says, laughing out loud, Spock should ship TJ a live chicken. James Hermio says, does it really matter who is first here? What really matters is that we are. That's true. You're right. I mean, it matters in that that's just where I start from. And people are proud to say, I was here first, whatever. So, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Luck Dragon. Hey, Luck Dragon. Luck Dragon's here. Says Donald Trump is not blanking Satan. He is just a puppet of his ass? I don't know. Spoiler alert. No. Man, the thing I hate about having the AC, like where I'm sitting, and having the AC like right next to me is that it's either too hot when it's off and it's too cold when it's on. Mr. Spock says the battle of the boar worms continues. Found another one today. Ugh. Are they in your chickens? Do your chickens have worms? There's Individual Ranch. River Ranch. Don't think I've seen you since the very, 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 very beginning. Roger Dodger's here. Hey, Roger Dodger says you are correct on the @stuff handle versus account name. Yeah, I know. I was just trying to remember to get it straight. Like, if I had it, yeah. So the @ I believe is the handle, and then the way we have them back today without the app would be your account name or your profile name or your channel name or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Things of this nature. Mad Max, Slava Ukraini. Slava Ukraini, man. God, you know, I wish that war would end. I wish fucking Putin would just turn around and go home like he should, withdraw all of his troops, even in this, you know, stuff that they've occupied, and just Russia has no business being there, man, none whatsoever, and they're just murdering innocent people, and you know, Putin's a fucking war criminal. I really think I'd love to see like Putin and Netanyahu and Trump and Kim Jong-un and who else, all taken to The Hague and let The Hague do the stuff that they do to people like they did, well, like during Nuremberg, which is not The Hague, I guess, but you know what I mean. You see where I'm going. You see what the imagery I'm trying to draw without actually saying it. Michelle says, handsome as ever, Trucker John. Oh, thank you. You're going to make me blush. Just skipping on down a little bit. I know I'm really behind. Marsha Jones says, jobs up by 3 squillion Trump's numbers. Hello, Marsha. Good to see you, by the way. The Lucky Minute says, I made so many RFK shorts yesterday. He is so dangerous and nuts. Lucky Minute. I'll have to check that out. You're, I'm assuming, on YouTube. Should check those out. I made some shorts too. You guys see my shorts? My shorts are goofy, kind of like how my whole show is goofy. But it does help me get those thumbs ups that I so desperately like, or subscribe. Actually, some subs out of that, so that I so desperately desire. Bob Burrows is back. Had to take a call. Janet DeBay says, at James Hiramino, now James, I need some help. TJ's pronunciation of your full name, I'm sure, is correct, but I'm a bonehead, sarcastic fuck. That's true. That part's true. Technically, wouldn't it sound out as James Hiramino? That might be up to the individual. I didn't pick up. I had an Uber driver yesterday whose name was Jorge, right? Spelled Jorge. I think it's E at the end, right? And I didn't ask the driver. I was going to ask him, and then we actually got into some other conversation. But I was going to ask him how does he pronounce his name? Because I used to go to a school way back in the day, like junior high or whatever, and high school, I guess, this kid. And his name was spelled Jorge. And I remember calling him Jorge. And I think people who didn't know him would, if they saw his name or whatever, would say Jorge. But then he would say, no, it's George. And I'm like, okay. Whatever you want, bro. I thought I was doing the right thing and saying Jorge. I thought, you know, that's how it's pronounced. And he's like, no, I go by George. So it just depends on, I guess, the individual, how they want you to pronounce their name. Within reason. I think within reason. Like if someone named James or John says it's pronounced Rickenbacker, then I'm probably gonna say, whoa, wait a minute now. All right. There's no fucking way that your name is pronounced Rickenbacker. All right? Jorge. Anyhow. So it's up to James if he want, because James, could be the sort of Anglo name, and the Jaramillo is the Latin name of his family or whatever. So I don't know. It's up to James. I'm leaving it. I'm going to leave it up. I'm leaving it up to James. As long as you don't go Jaramillo, gin up the base. Of course, that would be up to James also, I guess. Marshall Jones says, I suggest the pillow guy. Yeah. Yeah, he's a complete nut job. But he may be less harmful than RFK Jr. I don't know. Who knows? It's like, you got this nut job. I'm trying to center myself in the camera. I don't know which way do I need to go? You got one nut job over here and another nut job over here. Which one is less nutty? It kind of comes to that lesser of two evils. Who's the lesser of two evils? Mike Pillow or RFK Jr.? And I think it's pretty close. Although probably Mike Pillow might be less evil with that, going by that analogy of the lesser of two evils analogy, because that's what it is. It's an analogy, I think. Although it is kind of literal too, because I think RFK Jr. is evil. I think Trump is evil, but I don't think that, let's say, Joe Biden or Kamala Harris are evil. So like if you say, okay, between Trump and Biden or Trump and Harris, you got to, and you don't like either one of them or whatever, you got to choose the lesser of two evils. And I understand the analogy there. You're choosing the one that you think that will do the less damage or is the less harmful. But I don't in any way think that Joe Biden or Kamala Harris are evil. But I do think that Donald Trump is evil as fuck. Just saying. The basic structure on it's that heroin. See, now I don't know what that was in reference to. I've kind of skipped, and I'm almost a half hour behind, and I've kind of skipped around a little bit, and I have no idea what that is in reference to. This is the way it goes, folks. Sandy Foltz is very pissed off. Sandy, why are you pissed off? By the way, thanks for being here. I know you were first in the chat, and you just got home yesterday from your trip, and hopefully you had a very nice trip. But I don't know why you're pissed off. And I did skip down, so I may have skipped. You may have already said in an earlier post, but I have been skipping. So I apologize for that. Gino Maynard says, I never forgave Papantonio for turning on Obama over the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. I lost all, is it credibility or he lost credibility with me? Because I don't really recall what you're talking about, Gino. I'm not, so, but Papantonio, because I kind of just stopped listening to the whole Ring of Fire thing. But Papantonio was on the Nicole Sandler show a few months ago, I guess. And so I tuned in because I listen to Nicole and watch her show a lot. Nowadays, more on replay because our times kind of bump against each other or whatever. But anyhow, and Papantonio was on there to promote it. He has a new book. I think it's a novel. It's fiction. It's not even this guy's like a lawyer and he's writing these fiction books like he thinks he's fucking Mickey Spillane or whatever. Anyhow, and so I thought, yeah, oh, cool. I haven't heard from Pap in a while, and at that time I still had like a positive image in my head, I guess, about the guy. And then by the end of that show, I was like, and I'm in the chat room going, get this motherfucker out of here. Fuck Papantonio. This dude is a fucking asshole. And everybody in the chat was kind of doing the same thing. And I think Nicole watches the chat. She saw all that. And so, and she was getting angry too, because Papantonio was coming on there like defending RFK Jr. and really siding with him because they're buddies. They've been buddies. But so, he's got to know that RFK Jr. is a fucking complete nutbag. But he was like, they're like defending him and sticking up for him. And everyone's like, fuck you, asshole. So now I have like zero fucking respect for Papantonio. He has zero credibility with me. Zero. He's a big zero now. I've zeroed him out. Old fucking Mike Papantonio and your stupid fiction books that no one's going to fucking buy. I don't know how James is pronouncing his name. I must have missed that. But Jen is saying, James Hirano, sorry, I'm just a knucklehead sometimes. Okay, all of the time. So I don't know what happened with that. I don't know. 007 says they kicked him out. Now the host over there talks about how whack Trump is. That guy Farron, fair and balanced. I've seen him. Yeah, I've seen some of him every now and then, and he seems to be okay, as far as I know. But of course, RFK Jr. is a nut job, and I have, like I said, I have zero respect for Mike Papantonio. Now he lost when he was sitting there sticking up for RFK. I was like, "Fuck you, dude." It's like I understand that you guys are buds, but for you to even suggest that any of the shit that RFK says about this anti-vax bullshit and all of his medical opinions when he has no fucking medical or scientific training whatsoever, I'm just like, fuck you, man. I was like, fuck you, man. I'm like, totally. Damon Dog says, ask West if all 20 of his accounts subscribed here yet. That'll get you across the 4,000 line. I think he has. I'm pretty sure he has. MJ Daniel started 35 minutes ago, already 50 minutes behind. Yeah, how does that work? Belfast Bob, I am TJ, totally sorry. Dark humor, it was murder. Are we talking about the boat thing or something? Michelle, execution. So now we're back on the boat thing. Execution for speeding, which happens because I kind of repeat as I read things, and then things get kind of back into the conversation. So we kind of go back and forth here a little bit. Egolf Twitler says, why would a tiny drug boat have 11 passengers? There's a lot of questions, and like that will probably never be answered because they just blew them to bits. James Jaramillo says, gin up the bass, it's pronounced Jaramillo. Yeah, that's true. If I really, really want to be official. But my blood name is Ardiano. So yeah, if I really wanted to really try to be completely, authentic, I guess I would say Jaramillo instead of what do I say, James? I say Jaramillo, but yeah, so it should be Jaramillo. Kind of rolling that R a little bit, right? You're gonna roll that R a little bit. Jaramillo. I apologize. My Spanish is not the best. Jaramillo. Anyhow, moving on before I put my foot even further in my mouth. Nick Rich, 12 noon. I'm 37 minutes behind, by the way. 37 minutes. Can you guys remember what you guys were talking about 37 minutes ago? That's where I'm at. Mr. Spock, I thought it was more than 20. I don't even know what that's about. David Weiss from Denver, Colorado is in the chat. Hey, David, good to see you. Thanks for being here. We had another, I guess, appointment at Kaiser and kind of messes up your day, all that waiting. I'm going to skip down a little bit, guys, because before I get even further and further behind, because it is hard for me. Like it might be. I mean, it must be hard for you. Like I'm talking about stuff that you guys talked about over a half an hour ago. So that might be weird. I don't know. Is that weird? I mean, I don't know. Is it weird for you guys? It's weird, isn't it? I'm making it weird, aren't I? I'm making it weird, I think. I just watched, this is how far back I am on my Netflix watch list. I just started season 2 of House of Cards. And I don't know if there's any House of Cards fans or former fans or whatever of the show. But if you remember season 2, episode 1 of season 2, I'm not going to, I'm all about the spoiler alert, so I'm not going to say exactly what happened. But all I can say is I was genuinely fucking shocked. I think it takes a lot because I've seen so many TV shows and movies. It's really hard for something to shock me. But I was genuinely fucking shocked. So talk about being a half hour behind. Go back about 15 years or something, however long when that season came out, and try to remember season 2, episode 1. But don't say what happened in the chat, because we want to not have spoilers. Damon Dog says Jolly Ginger looks like Big Sarge at Sons of Liberty. I think I know who you're talking about over there at Sons of Liberty. Roxanne says, I think this is song lyrics here. I pray every day for a revolution, and so sometimes I cry when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out what's in my head, and I'm feeling a little peculiar. Oh. Yeah, that's a great song. I like that song. I pray every single day for a revolution, and so I cry sometimes when laying in bed. Okay, I'm murdering the song. I'm sorry. Oh, and whenever I sing, I have to do this. This is the type of song where you have to kind of do this type of a thing, right? If you were at the concert and Four Non Blondes was singing the song, you got to be doing this. Oh. Yeah. All right, let me move on before I butcher more great songs. Roxanne 79 says 7 away from the Dandelion Dinner. Indivisible River Bacon. I saw a ranch, and I'm thinking of Bacon Ranch or something. Indivisible River Ranch. You should change your name to Bacon Ranch. I don't know. Says people from the future are here for the 4,000 subs. William says Texas Paul had a pretty good show today. I didn't watch it. I was sleeping because I didn't get home. And see, that's the thing I hate. I got to start earlier in the day with the taxi driving, because by the time I'm done, even though I finished driving and got back to the yard at about 1:30 a.m., then by the time I park and I there's a bit of signing out I got to do. I got to count my money and put my money in the safe because they have safes there and stuff. And whatever cash I had that goes to them. There's a little process. There's a thing, and then I had to call for the Uber and everything. And then by the time I get home, it's like 2:30 or something, or after 2, and then I'm still a little wound up, so I watched the episode of House of Cards, and by the time I do that, everything it was almost 4:00 by the time I went to bed. So I think I got to try to start earlier in the day and get home earlier because I don't really like being up until 3:30 or 4 a.m., especially if I'm going to do a show in the morning. If I wasn't doing the show, I guess I wouldn't care. But I do care because I am doing the show and I love doing the show. I love hanging out with you guys, man. You guys are awesome to hang out with. So, Marshall Jones says a Venezuelan government official claims footage showing a strike on a vessel allegedly carrying illegal narcotics bound for the U.S. first shared by Donald Trump is AI generated. So what's the deal? I mean, it looked real, but AI can look very real. So what's the real story there? Roxanne says not spoiler incentives about talking about the South Park episode, I think. Belfast Bob says Texas Paul and Boston Brian Cussoff be good. I think you could put Hal Sparks in that. And Old Trucker John is known to throw an F-bomb from time to time. The Lucky Minute says Suno is good to make songs. Yeah, that's what I used to make my all the besides those earlier ones that I was showing, all the ones I've made lately, like all the ones that are on this show now, are all from Suno. Even my Paradise Road one, which I'm going to, I'm actually still tweaking the lyrics on that. I think I'm going to put out another version, kind of cleaning up some of the lyrics because some of them are a little clunky. Some of those lines are a little clunky. That one there, that one to me, like the intro and the outro, those are kind of just fun songs, and they kind of just go with the show. The Paradise Road one is kind of a song that I wish that if I was a musician and a singer-songwriter, that's kind of something that I would actually perform if I was like a performer or whatever, you know what I mean? If I was like Bruce. And people are like, Bruce who? Bruce Johnson. Jennifer Bay says Roxanne79 was Trucker John just talking shit about your boy. I don't even know, Jen. I don't even know what you're talking about. What you talking about? Kimchi is here. Hey, the goddess Kimchi. I have not seen you in a while. I hope you're okay. Hope your back's okay. Last time I heard you were having back issues, so I hope you're all right. Haven't seen you in a long time. Welcome back, Kimchi. We're almost at 4K. We might hit it today if I stay on long enough. Says anyone care what Wes thinks? I thought not. Oh boy, coming in for a dig there on Wes. Josh says I got to run an errand. I'll be listening. Alrighty, thank you for listening. Kimchi says hugs, Jen and Bob and TJ and 56 Nick Rich. To hell with the rest of you. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. That's why Kimchi wasn't here, because I probably say stupid shit and it pisses people off. Roxanne79 says Jim the Babe sure sounds like it, babe, or he wishes you would have been around earlier. See, I've kind of skipped and I'm kind of mid-thread on some of these posts, so I really don't know what we're talking about now. And maybe in a half hour from now I'll find something you guys post. James Romero says if one cannot actually play an instrument, they are not a musician. Right. I agree. And I do not claim to be a musician. Michelle says, I like that tune with Biden. Oh, when I was, yeah, that was one of the ones I made using GarageBand. Yeah, GarageBand, isn't that what it's called? Is that the one that comes free on the iPhones, right? Or Garage? I hope I'm not mixing things, but you know what I mean. Let's see here. Mad Max says, Mr. Buck always happy on tie-dye Fridays, bro. Having a banh mi sandwich with the crew and working for the weekend like everybody else. Everybody's working for the weekend. Now there are people that say that that singers are musicians, even if they don't play an instrument, but their voice is their instrument. And I believe, if you're really, really good, then I believe it. If you're someone like me who's just a hack, a wannabe singer, that's different. But if you're someone like, I don't know, well, Steve Perry, maybe. I don't even know, but some of these guys, a lot of these guys do play instruments, but they're just not, maybe they don't feel like they're good enough, or certainly not as good as like the rest of the guys in their band. So they let the bandmates do most of the musical stuff. But you know, like, I don't know, Robert Plant or Steve Perry or Freddie Mercury, or just a whole list of really great singers. Pat Benatar, fucking awesome. They may or may not consider themselves to be musicians. But I've heard people say, yeah, my instrument is my voice. So Kimchi says, hi, James, don't care what you say. I am a songwriter. Roxanne79 says, TJ, your intro song is awesome. Now it's the best intro song in the game, bro. Awesome. Jenna Base says, Trucker John, sad. See, now when I get so far behind and I'm kind of needle dropping on some of these, I don't know what that was in reference to, unfortunately. I don't know what that was in reference to, but I'll just take your word for it that I did something that's sad. I said something that's sad. Something that offended you, I guess. Sad. Kimchi says, Hal definitely gets down there in the sheets. He's a freak. He's a freak. Mr. Spock, 420 alert. 420 alert. 420 alert. Oh, Roxanne, Hal doesn't get down with THC. He gets down to the music. And he gets down with the ladies. That's what I was talking about. Nick Rich, 1218. Oh my gosh. I am really like far behind. Almost 40 minutes or whatever behind, I guess. But that's just the nature of the show, you know, because I'm reading your chats. That's the show, folks. That's the show. But I am going to skip down. Marshall Jones says, I want a sex bot that can do the ironing and I can say I have a headache. Me too. My sex bot will definitely be like, you know, vacuuming and shit too. Kind of like a wife of the old days. I know, all the women in here instantly hate me. But yeah, my sex bot will be doing dishes and vacuuming, doing laundry. And also be a security system, built-in security system with full video surveillance if anyone breaks in when I'm not here, and will automatically dial 911 and the cops, and will also have a 9mm Glock in its fingers, and will just basically just blow anybody away that comes in. I have had my premises broken into on many occasions in the last 25 years. And most of that was when I was a truck driver and I was gone out of town all the time. I've had my houses broken into, had so much of my stuff stolen. So I am a little bit, I'm not going to go so far as to say PTSD, but it is an issue when we talk about home security, that it really pisses me off to think of all the fucking shit that's been stolen from me. Stuff that was really not just shit that that I can replace, but there's irreplaceable things that have been stolen. And I don't even like to think about it, and I don't even know why I'm talking about it, and it's all because you guys talked about sex bots, and it's all your fault. Nick Rich, 20 past the hour, so I'm 42 minutes behind, I think. Something like that. Something of that nature. MJ Daniel says, boar worm for HHS secretary. There you go. That would be better than who we have now. Absolutely. Roxanne 79 says, you guys know AI was born in the 50s, right? Well, yeah, according to Trump, because since he was a little boy, he's watching AI or some horseshit. I think, though, really what he meant is that he's watching these AI things where the people are posting, and it'll show someone from a baby and how they've looked over the years, and it'll just go through the years of your life. I think that's what he was talking about, but still, he's a dipshit. He's still a dipshit. Mr. Spock says, I think they are corn borer worms, but like marijuana plants, they bore into the branches, causing damage. External case, go into the stem or external. Oh, and the plant dies. So I guess it was worms going into your plants. And the worms ate into his brain. Something like that. Ivy Joe Rains is here. Hey, Ivy Joe, good to see you. Thanks for popping in. I know this is 45 minutes ago, and you might not even be here, but still, nevertheless, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Ivy Joe says, dropping in to say a quick hello to everyone and going to start a fire and get warmed up. Radiant cold here in the Upper Peninsula. I believe that's what that means. UP, Upper Peninsula, which I believe is in Michigan, perhaps. Have a lovely weekend and love, love, love. Thank you, and right back at you, Ivy Joe. Right back at you. Mad Max says George Lopez wants it pronounced George, although in Spanish it is correct to be pronounced Jorge, which is what I thought. But there are some Jorges out there that want to pronounce it George, and that's their, I guess, their prerogative. Their prerogative. Jen at the Beige says, Trucker John, George is to Rickenbacker as Peter Dinklage is to John Hamm. Common knowledge. Jen at the Base, always striving to be funny. Has yet to accomplish that goal, but still, I got to give him kudos for trying. You don't give up. You're not a quitter, Jen. Someday you will actually have something that is intentionally funny. You're funny, but not intentionally. Anyhow. I'm skipping down and needle dropping. Okay, guys? Just so you know. Just so you know. Mr. Spock says, I have videos of chickens eating different food. Mashed potatoes was funny. Got stuck in their beaks. Roxanne79 says, glitched, had to restart. That's always a good way to figure out whether it's the problems on your end or on my end. If you restart it and the problem went away, then it must have been on your end. If it didn't go away, then it would be on my end. Just for future reference. I guess Robert Perez is here. Did I not say hi to Robert? I kind of skipped. So hello, Robert Perez from down San Diego way. Good to see you. Thanks for being here in the old driver's lounge. Roxanne says, anyone else audio going in and out? Oh, I thought you fixed your thing. Well, let me know if it's still going. Let's see. Does anyone say anything in here? Because I can see the current chat. It says the Soulcraft, late but present. Thank you, Soulcraft, for being here. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us in the driver's lounge, by the way. Always good to see the Soulcraft. I believe the Soulcraft is a musician. All right, I am skipping down a little bit. Christina Weimel says, I had a really bad day yesterday. Couldn't seem to calm down, no matter how much I smoked. Fuck GOP, MAGA, and Trumpstein. Be careful with self-medication. I would think that, you got to be careful with that. That's all I'm going to say before I get myself in more trouble. AM says, TJ, get ready to eat that dandelion. I know, I getting really close. I probably should go find one, even if we don't hit it today. I should probably go, if I can find one, and like put it in a Ziploc baggie and stick it in the fridge or something, maybe. We're getting there. Roxanne79 says, I knew TJ would know that song and sing it to me. Makes me very happy. I tried to sing it. I gave it the old college try. And now that song's in my head, Roxanne. As I'm reading your chats, that song is just playing in the back of my head now. It's like Sandy Foltz is saying hello. Hello, everyone. Hello. Belfast Bob says dandelion flower heads in battered, deep fried, really nice. Believe me, I think I'm just gonna get the dandelion and I'm just gonna chew it up and swallow it as fast as I can and be done with it. Mad Max says episode 1 of season 2. Oh yeah. Oh, wait, whoa. Let's see here. Oh. Okay, so Mad Max was being funny. I just want to make sure there's no spoilers. But there wasn't. Although it was kind of close, actually. Do. I said, hey. Paul Sharkey Mannion's here. Good to see Paul Sharkey Mannion from across the pond. Thanks for coming on in, hanging out with us for a bit. For a little bit. For a wee bit. AM says The House of Cards was a fantastic series until Kevin Spacey was dismissed because of charges of pedophilia. Yeah, I know. It's like I'm watching it now, so and now I know what Kevin Spacey is, and so it almost makes me not want to watch the show, but I just want to watch the show because I heard it was a really good show, and I put this on my watch list way before all the Kevin Spacey stuff came out. So it does sort of put watching it now, knowing what Kevin Spacey has done, and what type of person he really is, it does make you watch it, I think, in a whole different light. All right, I am skipping down, guys. I am skipping some of the chats. Please forgive me. Paul Sharkey Mannion says, good news on my neighborhood after a welfare check. The police rang me back. She's back in Ireland. Okay, so I'm kind of mid-thread, but I'm glad that all worked out. DPD 5844 is here. Hey, DPD, good to see you. DPD 5844 says an undercover reporter went out with a second in command at DOJ, is caught on tape. They are trying to remove all of the Nazi fascist white national regime of pedophiles they net on the app Hinge. Okay, I understand this is the internet, and that I don't mean to be a grammar Nazi or anything like that, but there's got to be some way of forming sentences that make sense, because I have no idea what I just read. Something about an undercover reporter caught on tape that they're trying to remove Nazi fascist white nationalist pedophiles is a good thing. So I'm hoping that that's what you're saying, that's a good thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just me not having good reading comprehension or something. I don't know. I guess I'm mid-thread on that. I'm going to skip that because I don't know what that's about. Roxanne79 says you have to hit notes as a vocalist, lots of singing, breathing technique. Oh yeah, and that's why people say their voice is an instrument. It's not just, they're not just like, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of breath control and all that, yeah, and singing and emoting from your gut and not your throat, Christina Weibel says, also Massey dropped a name that's in Epstein Black Book, Jen Taub, this morning. I saw that. I think I did see that, and it turns out, isn't it a big billionaire or something, benefactor who has funded a lot of these right-wing campaigns. He's sort of a big name in the right-wing campaign financing circles. I forget the name. Paulson, yeah, Christina Well, I think the name was Paulson, yeah. Belfast Bob says bye, TJ Chat. I know I'm really behind, so you're probably already gone, Belfast Bob, but thank you for being here. I appreciate you hanging out with us. And hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow right after Hal Sparks, whenever he finishes, at 11 a.m. or thereabouts, because you know how Hal can go long. Oh, my. Oh, my. Sandy Folt says, I have a home security system. Doyle Security is only $43 a month. Not bad. Not bad. James Jaramillo. See, if I try to do totally Spanish pronunciation, then I get self-conscious. Like I'm not saying it right. So either way, I guess I'm wrong. But it says their great voice is their instrument. Yep. All right, skipping down a little bit in the interest of catching up a little bit. It looks like Mad Mac and somebody is talking a lot about either soccer or something. So that's fine. That's fine. But there's no real reason for me to repeat it since I really don't know anything about soccer. I know you guys call it football, but I'm calling it soccer. On American soil, we call it soccer, and I'm on American soil right now. If I was in some other land, some other country, where they call it football, then I guess I would probably call it football. But I am sitting on American soil right now, so to me it's soccer. When we were in school and we had recess, they were handing out soccer balls, and they said head out to the soccer field. So that's where I'm coming from. Just so you know, that's my perspective. Skipping down a little bit here. Jen up the base says, Trucker John is a grammar snob. Shaking my head. Glass houses. TJ, sad, really sad. I said I'm not a grammar slob or a Nazi, grammar Nazi. I said grammar Nazi. Maybe you're afraid, maybe you don't have the courage to say the word Nazi. I don't know. I have no problem saying it. But I said I don't mean to be a grammar Nazi, and I realize that these are just posts. These aren't, and maybe I didn't say this, but I'm kind of saying it now. These aren't term papers that you're handing in to be graded. So I don't expect perfect structure and an AP writing style or whatever, or I don't expect any of that. But at least write it so that it makes sense. And I don't have to try to decipher what the hell you're saying. That's all I'm saying. Christina Weil says the survivors have their own list, and I can't wait until they put it out. I think they should post it and put it out, go out, have another press conference, have a big, have big whiteboards or whatever those things are called, or whatever, and put all the names on them. I don't give a fuck if Bill Clinton's on there or not. Put them all out there. MJ Daniel says, I have heard about that. Now, I'm mid-thread, so I don't know exactly what you mean about that. I have heard about that, but have not seen it. Some Republicans talking about how they want to remove every Republican name from the Epstein files. Have they actually said that? They said that they specifically said they want to remove the Republican names? I haven't heard anyone say that. Not even Mike Johnson or James Comer. I have not heard them say that they want to specifically remove the Republican names. I haven't heard that. Okay, so here's DPD 5840. I think maybe take another stab at this. The DOJ is trying to remove all of the Nazi fascist white nationalist regime of pedophiles from the files and leave in the Democrats. Sorry, I was stopped at a light when I was typing before. Okay, now I see. Okay, so the Department of Justice headed by Pam Bondi, according to DPD here, is saying that they are trying to remove essentially what MJ Daniel was talking about, removing Republicans. Well, we're not going to stand for that. And no one who the Democrats aren't going to stand for that. I don't believe that the 4 Republicans that have joined so far, I don't know if they've gotten the other 2 that they need, but Massey and Mace and Boebert and MTG, I don't think they'll stand for it. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll put them to the test and see how far they're willing to go. Paul Sharkymanian, adios amigos. Adios, Paul. Thanks for being here. We'll see you in the next one, hopefully. Christina Weibel says the survivors have the real list unredacted. And yeah, they should definitely put it out. If the Republicans or whoever are going to try, or the DOJ is going to try and not put out the full list and try to protect people, then for sure the survivors need to put their list out and just let the chips fall where they may. Skipping down, looks like I've caught up because I've been skipping down so much. I am now the dog that has caught the tailpipe. I'm pretty much caught up. And I probably skipped over some really great chats, so I apologize. We are now in the conversation of talking about water and distilled water and tap water and things of this nature. Josh, I'm back from my errands. Sandy Foltz says stupid property manager ran over my DirecTV cable line with his I guess lawnmower. That does suck. What an idiot. That's going to be a hassle getting, like fixing the wires and stuff. It's going to be a real hassle. Buff S. Bob says, don't grow sunflower seeds like weed seeds. There's a difference, folks. Kimchi says, Trucker John, we only know about the DOJ due to the undercover video of a reporter. Okay, so that was the thing, yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen that. That video. Gin Up the Base says, Sandy Foltz, that idiot is treading on you. Not okay. Treading on you? Am I out of the loop? Is that new popular nomenclature? Treading on you? Don't tread on me. AM says Bondi and the DOJ are the deep state. Pam Bondi is caught up in all this shit because she was the Florida, I believe, wasn't she the Florida AG that was the AG during the time that Epstein got busted for, I don't know exactly what he got busted for, because I mean, he didn't. It wasn't like he got like a lifetime prison sentence, but he got some sort of a sentence handed down for. I had something to do with underage girls. It just seems to me why did he get such a light sentence? Well, I guess because Pam Bondi was the AG, and then who was the other guy? There was a guy. They ended up giving. That's that's during the time when Jeffrey Epstein got the sweetheart sentencing of basically a little gel, some little rinky-dink gel, where they gave him the key, and he could go out. And I guess he had an ankle bracelet or something, and he was allowed to go out all day. Basically to his house, I think. And during the time, I think he was still having girls come over and give him massages. And then I think he had to go and check himself back in at night or something. He probably moved in like into a cell, some like, real comfortable bed or something. I don't know about that, but but this all goes back to this. Pam Bondi was fucking tits deep in this shit from way back. Josh says Bondi has anger issues. I was listening to her. I guess it was yesterday. Was Hal playing the clip, playing her press conference or whatever? I think she talks like a third grader, man. You know what I mean? The way she was reading her statement or whatever, she sounded like they all sound like they're like third graders doing a report, or something. And these are supposed to be educated people with college degrees, and they fucking are lawyers and shit. And she sounds like a goddamn third grader. Nothing against third graders. No disrespect to third graders. But if you're, a grown-ass woman, and you're a lawyer, and you're an AG, and now you're the head of the DOJ, you should be able to talk without sounding like a goddamn third grader. Kimchi says, well, she started by using, the 1,000 FBI to erase Trump's name, of course. He will protect his donors. Yeah, she took all these FBI agents off of whatever they were doing, like helping to keep us safe from domestic terrorists or terrorists coming into the country, or serial killers, or all the things the FBI works on, and had them going through these fucking files. General Base, don't tread on me. I said that. Rewind the fucking tape. I said that. I said don't tread on me. Dude, you gotta fucking bug up your ass about everything I say. The Lucky Minute says yes during Maxwell's court case. Mad Mac, Blondie is a total ass kisser. And she's apparently not averse to being paid off, to look the other way. That's what happened in Florida. She got a really nice, big, hefty, I think, campaign contribution from, I think, Donald Trump or somebody, right? And then she looked the other way. All of a sudden, things were getting dropped. Cases were getting dropped. So she's definitely a whore. A whore. Yeah, Kim, she says Alice Acosta did the deal without telling the victims. He SA'd girls at his house, yes. and that's what he got, this really light sentence. It seems like that should have been something that put him away for at least 20 years, right? If not life. But when you're a billionaire and you've got connections and you've got people in the justice system, so-called justice system, that are willing to either look the other way or work out these sweetheart deals, for a little bit of something coming their way. The corruption of this is it goes all the way to the top, man. And by the top, I mean the White House. And by White House, I mean president. It goes all the way to the president. DPD 5844 says, I think we should call the AMA to complain about the quack post surgeon general in Florida. Oh, that guy, he's just as bad as RFK Jr. as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, you should call the AMA to complain about quack post. Quackpot surgeon general in Florida. After all, doctors take an oath to do no harm. And because of his actions, a lot of people are going to die. Yeah, I think that's a good idea too. We got to complain somewhere. AMA is a good place to start, I would think. But complain to your representatives, even if they are Republicans. Go ahead and complain. Complain until they just get sick of hearing it. Write to them, call their offices, and tell them how this is unacceptable to have these kinds of people like, I forget the guy's name, but I did play a clip the other day about him in Florida, and people like RFK Jr. It is unacceptable to have them in these positions that are vital to U.S. citizens as a whole, and in this case of Florida and the Florida citizens, for the safety and the health of the people. This is unacceptable to have them in these leadership positions. So yeah, write, call, whatever you got to do it. Mad Max says, talking about Epstein and going back to the sweetheart deal that he had, Mad Max says he would ring the police to give him a ride back to jail, for fuck's sake. I saw a documentary about him before all this recent shit. Or shite. Yeah. Just a mockery, just making a mockery of our justice system. Paul Burrows, Department of Jokers. Kimchi says, you asked if Don't Tread on Me was new. Yeah, that was the joke part. When Jin said that, in the context that he said it, that was the joke. It's called a joke, folks. These are the jokes. Hello, is this thing on? These are the jokes, folks. That was the joke because Jin used it in such a inappropriate way. That was the joke. When I said, is that what the kids are saying? I'm sorry, you can't understand the humor. Obviously, that was a joke. Okay, I'm going to go back. I'm scrolling back. I'm going to scroll back. I'm going to find it. If I can go far back enough. It might not let me go all the way back. Well, let's see if I can go back. Let me just go. I'm just going to keep going. I might not be able to go all the way back. Let's see. Okay, so Gin Up the Bass says, Trucker John, Jorge is to Rickenbacker as Peter Dinklage is to John Hamm, common knowledge. Okay. That was Jin's horrible attempt at humor. Okay. And then, let me see if I can find any more. Because that's not the one, right? Let's see. I'm scrolling. Trying to see if I can find it. Trying to find it. Okay, then Gin Up the Bass says, at Trucker John, is a grammar snob. Shaking my head. Glass houses, TJ. Sad, really sad. Okay, another attempt at humor, very poorly done. Trying to do, like sad, how Trump says sad or whatever, apparently. Okay, so now I'm scrolling down. This is still not the thing that we're talking about. Maybe I wasn't able to scroll. Oh, then it says, Jim's Base, don't tread on me, Trucker John. Come on, guy. See, I think I can't. I didn't go back. I wasn't able to go back far enough. But the context in which you used that was what I was making my joke about. I obviously know don't tread on me. I very, very obviously know that. And the way that I said it, you should have been able to figure that out. See, I wasn't able to scroll back up to the original part. I didn't read lawmaker. I said lawnmower. Okay, Gin Up the Bass. Explaining your joke to the entire chat says enough. Did not land. As Sandy Foltz typed inadvertently lawmaker instead of lawnmower. The lawmaker is treading on her. Okay, but I had already in my head fixed lawmaker to lawnmower. That's why it didn't make any sense to me, because I know how to fix most people's typos. I understand a typo. So when you said that, I was seeing it from it being lawnmower. That's why it didn't make any sense. But in your quest to somehow think you're the next Robin Williams, you failed miserably. You should probably just stay in your lane, bro. Because you're not funny. At all. Kimchi, you yelled at Jen for some reason. I didn't yell at him. I just told him he's not funny. And when I said, now I'm saying it a little more seriously. When I said it before, I was saying it like tongue in cheek. When I say stuff like his horrible attempt at humor, that was sort of tongue in cheek. DPD 5844 says the Department of Criminals has decided to charge Lisa Cook with mortgage fraud. This is ridiculous. We should be able to call the Bar Association, all of these assholes need to be disbarred. Lisa Cook is going to win her case. She shouldn't have to be dragged through the mud like this and dragged through the whole the legal process for this, but she's going to win her case, I believe. To the base, the lucky minute. Nobody respects Trucker John more than I do. Really? That I must not be. I must not be highly respected. I don't know. MJ Daniel, Robin Williams going to dress like a cheerleader? I take it all back, Jen. You're the funniest person I've ever heard. Sandy Full says sometimes the phone will fuck up on a spelling. Yeah, I know. This is nothing. Nothing against you, Sandy. This has no criticism on you whatsoever. It's between me and Jen. This is between me and Jen. I fuck up all the time too when I type shit in these things. That's why it takes me so long to sometimes respond if I'm in a chat room. Someone will say something like, "Hey, Trucker John," or whatever, and then I'm like, boop, 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 boop. And by time, especially if you're in a chat like Hal's, where it's going so fast, so then a lot of times I'm just like, "Oh, forget it." It's like, it's too far gone. It's too far down. Nanu. MJ Dano says people have already come up with at least 4 Republicans who have done the same as Cook is accused of. Jen Up the Base says Sandy Foltz exactly. Tim Apple screwing us over. That's why I said inadvertently, as you well know, TJ frequently lashes out at us. Poor people. Mean old Trucker John. Lashing out. I really only lash out at you, Jen, if you notice. You're the only one I really lash out at. Alvin Stoops says Department of War, there's your peace president, you maggots. Yeah, I heard about that yesterday too, that he's changing the name of the Department of Defense back to the Department of War, which is what it used to be called all through the 1800s, and I think up until the First World War. Then they changed it to Department of Defense, and yeah, this no war president starting no war president wants to make sure that the Department of Defense is called the Department of War. It's just a bunch of horse shit is what it is. Belfast Bob, brilliant actor and human being also, sad as fuck. I guess we're talking about Robin Williams. Kim Shi, don't tread on me. I said that. I fucking said that. So did Jen. Jen said it. And that's what I was talking about. It was Jen's use of it. Didn't make any sense to me because I knew that Sandy was talking about a lawnmower and not a lawmaker. Kim Shi says, dude, you got to buck up your ass about everything that I said. I wasn't even talking about what you said, Kim Shi. I was talking about what Jim said. Jen. Or Jim. Jen. Kim Shi, you yelled at Jen over a slogan from the 1700s. I did not yell at him. I said, gee, is that what the kids are saying these days? If that's yelling, then fuck me. See, that was the joke. I said, gee, is that what the kids... Because I knew that that's not what the kids are saying these days. I knew that that was an old saying. That was they had the "Don't Tread on Me" flag, for fucking Christ's sakes. I knew that it wasn't... I guess... I know it's hard to pick up like sarcasm or maybe satire or whatever when it's in written form in a post, but I said it out loud. I said it verbally. And you still didn't get it. And that was directed at what Jen said, not at what you said. Maybe you also said "Don't tread on me" and talked about it, but I was talking about Jen's use of it. And my joke was, gee, is that what the kids are saying these days? Obviously, that was the joke because I knew that this was an old saying that had been around for hundreds of years. That's the joke, folks. Like I said, these are the jokes. Hello. Is this thing on? Hello. These are the jokes. And I did not yell at him. I said, is that what the kids are saying these days? That's not yelling. Now, I may have yelled at something else later, but Kimchi, I literally just quoted you. And you're taking it out of context, and you're not listening to what I'm saying. I said it into his response to Sandy Foltz's post. It's ridiculous. DPD says at least 500 immigrants were arrested at a Hyundai plant in Isabel, Georgia, with no due process. This is the largest ICE raid ever by the Nazi Gestapo, and it's only going to get worse. Wow. When was this? Was this today? Because I didn't hear about that, but that's pretty crazy. You know, they have that quota. They got to do 3,000 a day or something. Sandy folks, don't worry. The generation person, I think you're talking about Jen, should be blocked from the chat. No. He's fine. Jen is fine. There's no reason to block him from the chat. Yeah, Marshall Jones says Donald Trump signed an executive order on Friday to rebrand the Department of Defense as the Department of War. Yeah, we were just talking about that. Kim Shi, you told him he needs to back up the shit he says. I was quoting you later. Oh, buck up. He needs to buck up the shit he says. No, I didn't say that. I said he has a bug up his ass for the shit that I say. I said, gee, Jen, you've really got a bug up your ass for the shit that I say. That's what I said. I didn't say buck. I said bug, because the common expression is bug up your ass. Where did you get the bug up your ass? It's not buck up your ass. So you're misquoting me, is what you're doing. You may have checked up the tape, but you didn't hear it right. I didn't say buck. I said bug. I said, you've got a bug up your ass. Janet the Base says, Trucker John Sandy Foltz wants me banned from the chat. I'm sorry, I will miss out on the dandelion smoking. I'm not banning you, Jen. I am not banning you from the chat. I just defended you and said you're fine. I told Sandy that you're fine. I'm not, now whether or not you want to come back and be here, that's up to you. But I'm not banning you or blocking you or anything. Sandy Full CJ, you need to block both of them for bully and harass. No one is bullying or harassing anyone, Sandy. Simmer. No one is bullying or harassing anyone. So just simmer down, man. Jesus. Belfast Bob, so expect another go at Iran, a war with Venezuela, and death by drone in Mexico, Yemen, etc. Yeah, this is the peace president. This is our peace president. Wow. I think I've got some sweat running down. Oops. Oh, sorry about that. Like I said, when this AC goes off, it gets hot in here, and but when it's on, then I'm like freezing. So because I'm like right in front of it, or I'm like 3 feet away from it. Otherwise, I would just keep it on all the time. But then it just like freezes especially my legs. The Lucky Minute, I just subbed on my PSUR 4000. Wow. Well, that is awesome, Lucky Minute. On my thing, it still says $39.99 or $39.90 something, but sometimes it doesn't update. So did we get the 4,000? Let me see. Mine still says 3,990 something. Let me see if I need to refresh. Let me take this out of the way. I'm just going to refresh the whole thing. Let's see if we're at 4,000. Oops. Mine still says 3,990 something because it doesn't tell you the fourth number. So I don't know if it's official or not official. I don't know. I think officially I'm not at 4,000 yet because it doesn't say it. It doesn't say. But we're really close one way or the other. We're very, very close. Belfast Bob, £5 super chat. Thank you. Yippee to Belfast Bob. Thank you so much. We got a thumbs up and a heart. Thank you, Belfast Bob. I appreciate the £5. Thanks for helping the show, help us growing here. Kimchi Jin, there's no reason to snap at you about a joke from 15 minutes before. I didn't like the conflict, but I fight for what is right. All right, you're a fighter, Kimchi. You're a fighter. I think you misunderstood the snapping because Jen and I, we do a lot of stuff, a lot of where we bust each other's balls. So, I don't know. Jennifer Bay says, Kimchi, one of the reasons I love you, Kimchi. Mr. Spock, you got to fight for your right to party. I remember one time I was in the car with my folks and Beastie Boys' Fight for Your Right to Party came on the radio. Now, at this point, I'm in my 20s. It's not like I'm a little kid, but I was in my 20s or something. And then, but my dad was listening to the song. And I remember he turned to my mom or something, and he goes, "It's not a partying is not it's not a right." And then I just remember going, "Well, is that not a form of expression?" I think it's probably covered under the First Amendment. So I think we do have a right to party. Anyhow, but we said it jokingly and not in a mean way. AM says dandelion time. Yeah, officially, I think we're still at 39.90 something. But thank you, anyhow. But did I not say thank you to? Let me go back to who was it that did the like? Did I thank you for the sub? The lucky minute. I just subbed on my PS. You were 4,000. So yeah, you're already a subscriber. Then you subscribed again on your PlayStation. So thanks for doing that. And it just hasn't shown up, I guess. So Kimchi says, this is the last thing I will say. This isn't the first time you have snapped at someone, and Jen was obviously upset. Love you both. All right. I apologize if Jen was upset. Didn't mean to upset Jen. I thought I was just busting his balls a little bit. Anyhow, man, Mac, now you're going to start with Beastie Boys songs, Mr. Spock? Oh, Intergalactic, yeah. I like Intergalactic. I like that song. It's a good one. It's a banger, as the kids would say today. See how I see? That's sort of a callback. Genevieve says Kimchi, TJ and I are good, just giving each other shit. Anyhow, maybe I took it a little too far. I don't know. Belfast Bob says he saw them live here at King's Hall in 1990s. They were brilliant. Speaking of the Beastie Boys. Kim Shi says, so the company screwed up and I won't be going to Ocean's Calling with some crying emojis. Well, that sucks. I don't remember what Ocean's Calling is. But I do remember you talking about going to something that sounded really cool. But I don't remember what it was. The Lucky Minute says, dang, I sub at all 3 accounts. We watch TV on still $3.99. Kim Shi says, because they want twice as much now. F them. Oh, what? Twice as much? Talk about price gouging. Belfast Bob says, boxing ring, so 4 sides to stage, 2 drummers mixing electric guitars blew me away. Ah, they performed on a boxing ring. They had 2 drummers. Wow. Oh, yeah, so Kim Chi said the Ocean's Calling was a 3-day concert in Maryland. Belfast Bob says, I wasn't expecting heavy rock rap. Mr. Spock says, the ocean called. It wants its shrimp back. See, now that was a joke. No, I'm just kidding. Anyhow, guys, we are over 2 hours, well over 2 hours already. And I do have always the battery issues. And so I don't dare go too much longer so that the show doesn't just, just die from the battery going dead. So anyhow, guys, thanks for being here. Thanks, Jen, for putting up with my shit. Thank you, Kim Chi, for putting up with my shit. Thank you, everyone, for putting up with my shit. I do appreciate you guys being here and hanging out for a little bit. Because like the song says, it's a good time. Good time. We're going to have a good time. I should probably live up to my own words of my song, because sometimes maybe it isn't a good time if I am yelling at someone or whatever. So I apologize for that. But anyhow, we'll see you again tomorrow, right after Hal Sparks. We'll do the Hal Sparks after show hangout, and we'll hang out, and I'll do my best to not yell at anybody, and then just make it a good time for everybody. You know. All right then. Unless I'm forgetting anything. Am I forgetting anything? It's 1:52. It's almost 2:00. I don't know if Hal's going to come on early today. Kimchi says we adore you. Oh, and I adore you, Kimchi, and I adore Jen. He's a good guy. Just ask Roxanne. He's a good guy. Great cook, apparently. His faults are that he's a Giants fan, and I guess that's about it. That's probably his only fault, that he's a Giants fan. Maybe a Niners fan too. I don't know, but other than that, a good guy. And so other than that, I'm just trying to, the reason I'm kind of not stalling, but I'm kind of stammering, I'm just trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. I'm not leaving anything out. We're really close to 4,000. Maybe by tomorrow we'll have it. I don't know. So I should probably try to get a dandelion somewhere and have it in a Ziploc baggie, and I'll just put it in the refrigerator, maybe. I'm not even sure where I can find one, but I'll find one. And then what else? What else is there anything else I need to bring up? Am I forgetting anything? Jenna says, "Trucker, no, I'm an asshole." You got it right. No. You're not an asshole. Except for the Giants thing. I guess that's it. We covered the job loss. We're not creating jobs now. Unemployment is going up. We covered what a imbecile, nut job, whack job RFK Jr. is, and he has no business being anywhere near any type of position of leadership or power concerning the health services of this country. I think we covered that pretty well. We talked about things that Trump is doing, the so-called peace president, and how he's being very unpeaceful. We talked about the survivors, Epstein survivors, and getting the names out, and how we're not going to just let them put out a partial list. We will do what we need to do to make sure the whole list is out there, even if the survivors themselves have to post their own list. And we will do everything in our power to get that out in front to everyone. And we'll do everything we can to get justice done in regarding this whole Epstein thing, and that goes all the way to the top. This is going all the way to the top to Trump. And so just we need to hang in there. It's going to be a bumpy ride. We've been saying that all the way since the inauguration. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but we can make it. We can hang out together, and we can hold each other's hands, even if it's just virtually, and we can get through this. And before you know it, another year will pass by, and we will be looking right at the midterms. So just make sure we keep our focus on that. And there I go. I called it midterms. And those are really congressional elections. Every 2 years we have congressional elections. And we need to make sure that we get the House of Representatives back. We need to get the Senate. Let's get more seats in the Senate. And let's hamstring Trump as best we can. All right, guys. That's it for today. I guess I've covered everything. Slava Ukraini, Mad Mac. Absolutely. Slava Ukraini. Aaron West says, what's a mob number? I don't know. What did I skip? Did I miss something? I see Aaron posting like, subscribe, share. We got the Buy Me a Coffee and the PayPal link. What's a MOB or mob number? I don't know. I don't even know. Oh, because Belfast Bob was saying Venmo won't take my mob number even with my international code. I don't have Venmo though. I have Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal and the super chats and memberships. We don't have Venmo. If you're talking about my account, I don't have Vin. I don't have Venmo. Did I say Vin? I don't have Venmo. So anyhow, yeah, we've got all we have is the PayPal and the Buy Me a Coffee and memberships that start at $1.99 a month, which is a pretty good deal. $1.99. What else? Where can you get a deal better than $1.99? So there's that. We could do that route. Kimchi says, were Maddow and Saki really fired? Oh, I don't know. This is the first I'm hearing of it, Kimchi. So I don't know. Rosanna says, no way, Kimchi. I know, that's what I'm like. What? This is the first time hearing of it. Teresa TAK is here. Hey, Teresa. Some people are coming in just as we're ending. Kimchi says, Rosanna, I saw it on a live just now. Hello, Teresa. Good to see you. Mr. Spock, free would be better. Like a free membership. Well, that's kind of what a subscription is, I think. Because those are free. Don't cost you a dime. Hit that subscribe. We're almost at 4K. So yeah, I haven't heard about that. Well, let's go ahead and end the show, and then we can go check out and see if Maddow and Saki have been fired. Or I could. Well, I do have a TV right here. Let's see. I've got it on YouTube. I've got my TV on YouTube. So top news. ICE raids Hyundai. Oh, here's the Hyundai thing that someone was talking about. Homeland Security's immigration raid nets 475 arrests at Georgia Hyundai plant. I'm sure Hyundai's really happy about that. They're like, what the fuck? Here's 2 teens arrested in D.C. shooting death of UMass student from Granby. Wow. The headlines from New York Times podcast, it says a failed secret mission in North Korea and a government shutdown deadline. That's from New York Times. From KSDK News, Illinois Governor Pritzker fights President Trump's National Guard plan. CBS News news poll shows how Americans feel about the economy. RFK Jr. performance. The economy. 61% say uncertain. That was from yesterday. Putin warns that foreign troops in Ukraine would be a target for Russian forces. Fuck you, Putin. You fucking... I hate Putin. Okay, so yeah, now it's just sort of repeating stuff. Here's David Pakman, or this is roasted by Hassan. I don't really like these guys, the Vanguard guys. They're kind of assholes, I think. I think they're being way too critical of David Pakman and the whole chorus thing. And they're calling David Pakman a piece of shit over and over and over again, repeatedly. So I just stopped watching them because I think they're the pieces of shit. They might not, I don't know, maybe they don't like chorus, they don't like the idea of it, but what has David Pakman ever said that was untruthful or that can be debunked somehow? I've been watching David Pakman for 15 years, probably at least, and I've never known him to say untruthful things. So until you can find, bring me some evidence or proof that David Pakman is reporting lies or untruths, then Vanguard, you Vanguard assholes, you can go fuck yourselves. Okay, so what else? I was just trying to find on my YouTube feed anything about Maddo and Saki. I don't see anything about that. Here's top news. So this is yeah, the same thing that hasn't changed. I refreshed it, but it looks like it's all the same. So as far as the news outlets are concerned, they're not talking about it. Anyhow, okay, guys. Well, I guess I'll let you guys go, and I will put this on my Big Bear Bald Eagle camera watch. Big Bear Bald Eagle Wide View Camera 2 up in Big Bear. I'll leave that on that as I go out. But okay, so there's that. Rosanna with a $4.99 super sticker. Thank you so much, Rosanna. Yippee, going out to Rosanna. I do appreciate you. Josh, how do you clickbait? How do you clickbait, bro? How do you clickbait? It's time to clickbait or run or something. I don't know. All right, so I guess that's it. I was just trying to find that. I couldn't find anything. We'll find out more as the day goes on, I guess, about everything. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm sorry for the little kerfuffle. You know me. Sometimes I get a bug up my ass. I'm the one with the bugs up his ass. All right, guys, thank you so much. Though the only thing left is words of wisdom. If you guys are still interested, get a pad, paper pad, pencil, write this down. Okay, you guys ready for today's words of wisdom? All right, then. So here they are as follows. Number one, don't yell at the people that you're trying to get subs from. Oop. And then Matt, somehow the mic will just.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes. Might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes. But if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over. I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid, but doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, it's time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again.
Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food and movies and bugs, shining a light on all the social issues. No shrugs, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. In my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. So you want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for us. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love, it's all about the thrills. It's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows. So big show. So live it up on Paradise Road. Just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret. It'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. So damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life. Everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot. You're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along.